Hello and welcome to Lois and Morgana Davidson Art. Today is a sky practice day. More specifically, I'm going to be sharing a couple of my sunset sky practices with you, showing two different styles of loosely painted evening skies using two different types of brush. The first sky practice I'm going to work on here is going to be a lovely soft dusty kind of sky, the kind you get in summer once the sun has dipped below the horizon with all these lovely blue and mauve tones. The first thing I'm doing is wetting the whole sky area so I can paint wet in wet. This usually ends up taking between 2/3 and 3/4 of the paper for a nice big sky. I'm also only going to use one brush for this. As you can see here, this is a 2-inch flat, and I'm only using two colours here, but these are two fabulous colours that pair so well for these kind of gentle dusty skies. This is ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson hue. I'm using both from Winsor & Newton. The alizarin crimson in particular is such a good mixer. It's perfect for these kind of skies. It's a lovely sort of deep red with a slight pinkish hue, and as such it mixes really well with these blues, as you can see. For a really nice loose watercolour sky, painting wet and wet is ideal, and you can see how I was able to use the size of this flat brush to really quickly cover large areas of the paper with colour, and you can see just how quickly that sky's gone in. You can also turn it to use the edge of the flat brush to create some lovely sort of loose cloud shapes, as I've done here. I also decided to add a really quick sweep of colour along the lower edge of the paper, perhaps setting the scene up to become a possible seaside scene with the sky colours reflected on a stretch of wet sand, or perhaps even a lake or a wetland scene with the sky reflecting in still water. So that's the first sky practice finished. I'm really pleased with how it looks and with how quick it was, only a couple of minutes. It gives me time enough, I think, to demonstrate a second sky practice in this video for you today. The second one I did after being inspired by a recent beach walk I took, where the setting sun coincided with the most beautiful low tide. As you can see here, just look at that lovely glow along the horizon. So, inspired by that beautiful scene, this sunset practice is going to have a few brighter, slightly more traditional sunset colours in it. I'm using a lovely warm yellow as my first colour. This is transparent yellow, but any warm yellow will work for this kind of sunset. Just maybe steer clear of anything like lemon yellow, as that will give a cool tone that works against the sense of warmth that we're going to try and create. I'm also using a nice vibrant orange. This is transparent orange from Winsor & Newton's professional range, but again, any nice sort of sunny, bright orange and yellow colours will do. Something like a cad orange would be lovely here, or a permanent orange, or perhaps switching to a burnt sienna tone for a more subtle glow. I'm also using alizarin crimson hue again, this lovely reddish tone that I think works really well to help just slightly fade out those lovely bright colours and just create that transition between these colours and the bluer tones that I'm going to put at the top of the paper. You'll see that I'm also painting the whole of this sunset with the round brush. This is a round mop brush size 20 instead of the flat that I previously used. This is just to show that it's worth experimenting with different types of brushes and different shapes, as there is really no right or wrong way to do these kinds of watercolour skies. The only thing that I will say is no matter what shape of brush you choose, make sure that it's large enough to be able to cover large areas of the paper nice and quickly. This will help your painting stay nice and loose, and it means that you can get your colour where it needs to be before it all starts drying out. also used the twin technique, which I'm just showing you here, to put in a nice bright sun. This is an option that can be really fun to include with your sky practice. It's lovely and simple, as you can see. You just need a small coin and a piece of something absorbent like tissue or kitchen towel, and particularly in a nice bright sunset like this, it can be very effective. So that's my 2 sky practices done. Time to let them both dry before taking off the tape from around the outside. I find that sometimes if I'm struggling to know how to finish a certain piece, removing the tape can help give you a better perspective on what the finished piece is actually going to end up looking like, and it can help clarify what you actually need to do in order to turn something like these simple skies into a finished painting. For this sort of thing, it can be very useful to have some templates lying around to help you out. Basically some transparent overlays of various shapes and silhouettes, like I'm just going to show you here, that you can lay over the painting once it's dry to see what it looked like with these specific details added in. You can see here I do mine on tracing paper, but this can be done on clear acetate as well. As you can see, I have a variety of shapes here on tracing paper that could potentially be added into any of these skies, from people to animals and buildings, flocks of birds. I just think these are so useful as tools for landscape painting. So just to finish up this video, I wanted to show you a couple of examples of some of my other sunset sky practices that actually turned into finished paintings. Some are quite bright, like this one with the sun that I added using a bit of gouache colour, which I'm aware isn't quite everybody's cup of tea, but I still think it can be very effective with watercolour when used correctly. Sky practice is such a good and fun thing to do with watercolour, especially if you're feeling a bit blocked or a bit lost. There's lots of versatility with how you can approach it, what colours you use, what brushes you use. And particularly sunset skies, I think, or lovely dusty scenes such as this one. They're such lovely things, but they can be deceptively tricky to paint sometimes. I'm pleased with how both of my practices turned out. I'll probably figure out a way to turn them into finished paintings at some point. Let me know any ideas you may have in a comment below. But now that's all from me today, so I will say thank you so much everybody for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the week. Wishing you very happy painting.